Good morning everybody, welcome to Jo's Kitchen Capers. Sorry I was running a few minutes late this morning, but we're here live and we're going to be making today these Moluccan chicken patties. Now they've got a bit of a Indonesian theme through them, and I've pre-made a Thai paste and a Thai seasoning, so I've popped the recipe on the page below if you'd like to make your own, then you know what's going in. And we've got some cooked chicken which is already prepared, and I've got about 1/4 of a Kent pumpkin. That's the dark green sort of textured pumpkin that you see, and pumpkins in season at this time of year. So February, March, you're starting to see some beautiful pumpkins coming through, and they're not as watery as they have been because we've just come from the end of their season. So let's start cooking. I'm just going to turn this on. I don't know who's with me this morning, so let's have a look. Now I am using a new platform, so I'm coming to you with Ecamm. You may need to write, if you're on live with me, who's there, because on Facebook I could usually see who it was, but you need to pop your name there for me. So let's start with this. Now I have poached a chicken. This is just something really great if you can do this every week. I quite often just have some poached chicken in the fridge because you can use it in so many dishes. So this is just a small organic chicken, and I'm going to use about half of it. We can put that aside. I'm going to actually pop it straight in the fridge because you don't want chicken hanging around, and we're going to add our pumpkin to it, and I've just dry roasted this. So this makes a really good batch. Now before we begin, we're going to preheat that oven to 180 degrees Celsius, maybe 190 to start with. I've also got prepared a pre-lined baking tray, and I've got a small frying pan that we're going to toast these off first before they go into the oven. So we've placed our chicken and our pumpkin in there. It's just tender, and I've dry roasted it because you don't want it to be too wet. So that's going in. Now I'm going to just saute off some garlic, and it's got a shrimp paste in it as well. Now I don't use onions or garlic, but at this stage if you wanted to use onions and garlic, you'd saute those off to add to this mixture. I'm just using a light olive oil spray in there. We're going to put it on a medium heat. And we're going to saute our ginger. Now it's about it says a teaspoon. I like a lot of ginger because I'm adding that flavour. I haven't got the onions and the garlic. So I've got a couple of tablespoons easily in there. And our shrimp paste, you can get this in any Chinese grocers or the Asian aisle at your supermarket. It's very pongy, but it definitely adds that umami flavour that you get in Thai cuisine. So we're going to add that. We're going to start by sauteing off the ginger, and it's just lightly popping that in. And I definitely love the ginger flavour. And then we're just going to pop in this shrimp paste just to toast it off a little bit, and it gives you the opportunity to break it up a little bit more. So let's pop that in. Break it up through the pan, and we're just lightly sauteing it, okay? No colour. Turn that down a little bit. Now these patties are great, you can pop them in your lunch box. I'm going to work with you and we'll make a little salad to go with this, and they're just a great addition to have to your weekly meals. a little bit. Make sure you just break up that shrimp paste, because you don't really want to be getting a mouthful of that. It's quite very flavoursome. So let's stir that around. We've made sure we've broken all that paste up. Oops, that's not what we wanted to do. And we'll bring over our pan. So you can see here, there's no real colour in that. I've broken up all that shrimp paste. Let's just make sure it is all mixed through. And that goes straight into our bowl. Let's pop you there. The ginger and the shrimp paste smells good. Turn off our element. We're going to mix that through. And then into this, we are adding, I've got 2 tablespoons of my Thai red curry paste. As I said, you can buy this if you prefer. Got 1.5 tablespoons of the Thai seasoning. And we've got some chopped coriander. Don't be put off. I know some people absolutely despise coriander and the flavour of it. It's actually a genetic thing. You either love it or you hate it. And just be aware that it can be at the end of the season, and when it's starting to go to seed and starting to flower, it becomes really potent. So you may like it when it's when it's a bit younger. But we'll pop that in. And if you don't like it, swap it up. Add some basil or some mint to it. Stir that through. And we're going to add some little bit of fish sauce. Let me just check my recipe. It's only about a teaspoon of fish sauce going in. Now I've added here, you'll see on my recipes, I've added chia seeds. Now, because we've got this pumpkin, and sometimes the mixture by the time we add our paste can be a bit wet, and you don't want this mix to be too wet. So sometimes I just sprinkle in, I've got a tablespoon there, I'm not even going to add that much, but I just sprinkle in a bit of chia, and that helps absorb any liquid without adding another egg or whatever to bind. So let's stir this through, and that is all we're adding to these patties. How easy is that? Our oven's heating. We just want to break this pumpkin down a little bit. And honestly, sometimes I just put a glove on. In fact, I might even do that, because it makes it easier to form the patties as well. I just always have kitchen gloves in my kitchen. The joys of many years of working in hospitality. And you can just break that down a little bit. You know, our hands are one of our best tools in the kitchen. They're underutilised with all the gadgets we have these days. So you can just squish that pumpkin to get a bit of a paste going on. You still want little bits of pumpkin in it, so it keeps its shape, but it just mixes it through beautifully. And what I have to the side here is I usually do these in about a 1/4 cup measurement. Punch it down a little. Okay, that should do. I'm going to take this glove off, and we're going to start moulding these. Let me grab a plate. So here we go. Now I've got this little, I'm going to use a little trick here. Spray my cup measurement. It just makes it a bit easier to get the patties out. So I can press them in, tip it out. And as I said, this is also beautiful without the coriander and using mint and parsley, mint and basil. And you'll see that it does make quite a few patties. We are going to cook these off a little bit after we mould them. And let's see how many we've got. We've already got 6. So it's quite a good way of making a chicken go a long way. That's only half a chicken and a quarter piece of pumpkin. So you can see that it's quite a good meal and it's quite economical. So here we go. And this is going to go with a beautiful little vermicelli salad. We don't need to be too... Okay, who have we got here? Here we go. Okay, that's them done. Put our bowl aside. Oops, let me just run a little bit of water into that. Wipe our bench down. Oh, I'm not very organised this morning. Clean sponge. And let's go. So we've got our patties there. We are going to just put them on a... We're going to coat these now with sesame seeds. So just get a plate. Pop some sesame seeds on it. Our chia can go to the side. And I'm just going to whisk up. I've got 2 egg whites in here. And we're just going to whisk them slightly. And our patties are then going to be dipped and ready to go into a hot pan. So we need another plate. And here we go. This gives you a chance just to mould these a little bit more, flatten them out a little bit, dip them in the egg white and into the sesame. A little bit messy, but that's okay. Do a few at a time. If you're ever doing this sort of coating, just try and keep one hand for one thing and one hand for the wet, one hand for the dry, if you like. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've got 12 patties out of this, and they're quite a decent size. So I think that's quite an economical meal to be making. We're just going to dip that. Let me move my bowl out of the way. Coat them in the sesame. Okay. Let's continue on. We need some background music playing today, don't we? Coat them in the sesame. You can reshape those a little as, oops, wrong way. Reshape those a little as they go onto the pan. You could even make them into like ball shape if you prefer, just whatever. Let's pop the rest of those in there. And we need a little bit more sesame, so let me wash my hands. And we'll add some more of that. nearly there. So 2 eggs is just enough. You can still keep those egg yolks aside and add them to baking, or don't waste them. Make an omelette, use them in some cooking. I'm going to give another little sprinkle with these. In the meantime, we are going to heat our pan up again. And start cooking these off. Let me get all those sesame seeds. And as I said, you can reshape these and form them as you go. They freeze really well. They're a great, I quite often have them in my lunchbox when I'm going to work because they're just a nice little protein. They've got everything in them. They're tasty. Okay, so our patties are all formed. Let's reshape a couple of them. Now you could probably just bake these in the oven if you wanted to, but I like to get a bit of caramelization on the outside of them and put them through the pan first, and then they can just simply go in the oven to keep cooking. Because all your ingredients in there is already cooked, and that egg white isn't going to take long to cook at all on the outside. So we've got our pan that we used earlier. I'm just going to wash that quickly because I haven't got another one. And we're just going to pan fry these just in a little bit of that olive oil spray. That's all you need. Back onto a medium heat. A little bit of spray. And they're going to be browned off slightly just to get a bit of colour on them, and then they're going to be trayed up and in the oven for about 20 minutes. So bear with me 1 second. And we're going to get 2 pans on the go. And get these cracking. So here are our patties, and they are going to go into our pan. You're just going to get a bit of light caramelization on them, and then straight into the oven. Okay, so while those are cooking, let me show you this quick little salad we're going to put together. Clean down our bench. And my fish slice for flipping the patties. And let me show you the salad. So I've just quickly got some vermicelli noodles that I've just put with blanched with some boiling water and drained off. So we've got those there. We're going to just keep with those Indonesian flavours. I've got some limes. Mangoes are absolutely stunning at the moment. A little bit of bird's eye chilli. I've just raided my poor little mint plant. There's hardly anything left on that, but I want to add that flavour of mint. And I've blanched off also some just green beans. So we're going to add those in as well. Let me check our patties. These don't even need much colour on them at all. It's just really to give them a little bit. And if you like Thai flavours like me, I think these could fast become a favourite. So our salad is pretty simple. We've got our noodles. I like to, once I've cut these, I like to just cut them up a little bit with a pair of scissors. Just cuts them into smaller pieces. So that's cool. Let me put this in a glass jug so you can see it. And here we go. So we've got our noodles. Those so you can see them. Now our mango, we're going to add a little bit of coriander, not a lot. Our mango, we're just going to take the cheeks off and add it. I'm just going to pop these in the oven first. I'll show you them before we put them in. So onto our silicone mat. Turn off that element. Our oven's preheated. So here are these. Have a look at those. They've just got a little bit of colour on and they are going straight into the oven. We can turn those halfway through cooking, so give them about 20 minutes, then turn them over so it will get a little bit more caramelisation, but not a lot. Okay, so we've got our lovely mango here. If I just go down the side, and you can pop these into cubes or slithers. Whoops, got a bit of the seed there. We don't want that. I'm going to simply cube it. Keep the juice, doing it over the jug so I get all that beautiful mango juice in. Just going to scoop out that little bit of seed that I caught. Once again, just cutting through. I find a bread knife's easy to do because it's not going to, or a normal butter knife, it's not going to cut through the skin like you would with a paring knife and possibly cut yourself. So we can turn that out and then just chop off those little cubes. Yeah, the mangoes are stunning at the moment. And they're actually a fruit that don't absorb too many pesticides. So, you know, they're one of those things that I might even pick up from the supermarket if I can't get any organic ones. And it's just nice to be aware of what you can buy that don't hold too many pesticides. I'm just going to go around the edge of this so I don't waste any. I wasn't filming it, I'd just chew on the seed, but I won't do that in front of you. So let's just get these extra bits so we don't waste any. They're not as pretty cubes, but that's okay. Okay, that goes in. Our green beans go in. I've got a lovely little bird's eye chili just to give it a little bit of heat. Even though these flavours in the patties are Indonesian, it's not very hot. at all. I know there's a little bit of cayenne. What else is in? That's really the only hot thing. And our red chilies. So we're using I use the large red chilies for the curry paste, so they haven't got a lot of heat in them. So this will just bring up that heat component a little. And we've got some lime juice going in. Oh, trying to set on a pan on fire behind there by the smell of it. A little bit of lime juice. And this is really all the salad needs. We'll season it with a bit of salt and pepper. And a little bit of lime juice. Of course, always a little bit of seasoning. And then I can show you, I can find what I did with my tea towel. Never enough tea towels in my kitchen. And I'm just going to cut up this measly little amount of mint. Because the flavour of mint is just, I just love it. It reminds me of a mojito. A bit early in the day for that. And then we're just going to stir this through. So simple, simple. And I love the little red of the bird's eye chili through this because it just gives you a little pop of colour and along with those mangoes. So let's put a little bit of salt and pepper in here. And cracked black pepper. A little bit of salt. And here we go. And I'm going to dress that. Or I might also put a little bit more chili in that just for looks. You could add capsicum to it to give it a bit more colour. And let's pop it in a bowl. That's just a nice side to have. Pop our chilies there. That's always quite a good way to warn people that there are chilies in. I might garnish it with a whole chili on the top. If you're brave enough, you can eat it. So there is our salad. Let me show you some of these patties that I prepared earlier, which we have here. So here are our lovely little patties. They're firmed up quite nicely. They've got a little bit of caramelization on them. We can serve that next to a little bit of this lovely salad. And that is just an amazing lunch, dinner, whatever you would like. You can garnish it with a few more fresh herbs if you like. But I think that's a pretty lovely meal to feed the family through the week. We can garnish it a little bit more curry or anything if you like. But here you have this lovely meal. Better do a taste test because it would be rude not to. And I just wanted to show you this poached chicken that I did this week. I did in the pressure cooker. It's my new favourite tool in the kitchen and I don't know why. I've never had one before after all my years of chefing. Never had a pressure cooker in my life. Probably because Mum used to, you know, she did explode them a few times in our home kitchen when I was growing up. So that's probably why I never had one. But I love it because I can poach a chicken in 30 minutes, 35 minutes, depending on the size of it. I can do those cheap cuts of meat and serve a beautiful goulash or anything in about 45 minutes. So a pressure cooker in the kitchen is a great investment. And not only did I get that chicken, but I got about 4 litres of fantastic chicken broth that I can just break down, freeze it into ice cubes, and have it on hand in the fridge. in the freezer. And the other thing I was going to say, if you do use the recipe I've got and make the Thai red curry paste, you can also freeze that down. It'll keep in the fridge for a few weeks, but you can freeze it down very easily and just have it on hand, so it's not going to go off. You know, I like just not having a lot of wastage. So let me season this a little and let's do a taste test. I also had a little bit of, which I thought would be nice on it. You could add a bit of relish to this if you like, but I've got some beautiful warrigal green and basil pesto, so we could add a little bit of that to it too, just to give it another flavour dimension. So let's give these a try and see what they're like. Just really delicious. You can taste all that flavour going through the chili paste. It's just really good, and I hope you'll try it. Okay guys, this is our dinner tonight. I hope you enjoyed this cook, and I look forward to seeing you again next week in Jo's Kitchen Capers. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.